This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. It's Tuesday, January 19th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, another heartbreaking loss is reported due to the pandemic. Last night, a member of our law enforcement community succumbed to the disease. Last night, the Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies escorted Pahrump Justice Court bailiff Gerald Bear Smith home from the hospital in Las Vegas, where he passed away due to complications of COVID-19. Smith has been a popular member of the Pahrump community and a longtime bailiff at the Nye County Courthouse. The town of Pahrump, County of Nye, residents, family, friends, and courthouse staff, as well as the law enforcement community, are mourning the loss of another member to this tragic disease. Smith leaves behind his loving family and friends. No memorial services have been announced at this time.
And tonight, the night before his inauguration, President-elect Joe Biden led a national tribute for the 400,000 Americans killed by the coronavirus, saying that to heal, we must remember. So 400 illuminating lights surrounded the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial to remember and honor those we've lost.
As you all are aware, the Presidential Inauguration Committee has asked us to declare a National Day of Unity and Remembrance and ask communities around the country to remember and honor all of those who have been lost during this pandemic. In some ways, we feel that Clark County has suffered a little bit harder because we've lost our economy, and we lost so many close to us. As you all remember, it was March 15th that Daniel Scully passed away, becoming Las Vegas's very first victim of COVID-19. 10 months later, here we are, and I don't think that any of us thought that we were going to be here 10 months later. But I do know that we have worked hard. We will continue to work hard as a community to help us get through this.
It would be wonderful to announce that we're finally ready to put an end to the pandemic. But that isn't the case, and we all know that. And as a result, we know that the 2,873 residents who passed is only part of the count. We would hope that the count would not get a whole lot bigger, but we know that there will be others who will succumb. So it requires of us a commitment to do our part. The vaccine offers an opportunity to do our part. We hope that people across this community will take it seriously, and if they have already thought not to, at least rethink things and consider it.
As part of today's ceremony, 29 lights illuminated the rotunda of the Clark County Government Center, one for each 100 people who've died from COVID-19. The musical duo Sweet Tone performed, and candles were also lit as part of the remembrance ceremony.
Well, as President Donald Trump prepares to leave the White House, he took a moment to address the American people. The president says while we may have our differences, we're all Americans, and it's been an honor to serve as the 45th President of the United States.
To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. As president, my top priority, my constant concern, has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do. Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with much more local and national news right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Treasury Secretary hopeful Janet Yellen testifies on Capitol Hill. Delta Airlines reports a record loss in 2020, but stocks of Petco are trading on Wall Street.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, on Capitol Hill, the Senate Finance Committee is expected to begin confirmation hearings on Janet Yellen, who's up for the job as the nation's next Treasury Secretary. Yellen is the former chair of the Federal Reserve and was nominated by Joe Biden. She's expected to easily win confirmation and is already getting support from several Republicans. Her confirmation is happening even before President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on Wednesday. Delta Airlines hopes to become profitable later this year. In 2020, Delta logged a record loss of $6.8 billion. Delta was the first airline to reveal fourth quarter earnings. It's also the airline with the biggest exposure to corporate travel. According to Forbes, corporate travel remains down 85%. Petco has unleashed on Wall Street. The retailer stock priced in at $18 per share.
Thanks, Angela. Well, Nye County has launched a COVID-19 vaccine information and resource page that includes a fillable vaccine interest form for the public interested in receiving the vaccine as it becomes more widely available. The availability of the vaccine is contingent on the number of vaccines received from the federal government through the state, which has been limited. Nye County began vaccinations for seniors 70 years of age and older today in Pahrump in limited numbers. For more information and how to fill out that fillable vaccination interest form, go to nyecounty.net. And Smith Stores in Southern Nevada started vaccinating residents over 70 years old beginning tomorrow. To register for an appointment, go online to Smith's website.
And Clark County Fire responded to a massive fire late Monday night that destroyed an apartment building that was under construction. The high-level response was dispatched to the area of Fort Apache and Tropicana. Upon arrival, units found heavily involved under construction apartment complex buildings. There were strong winds that were spreading that fire throughout the complex and the embers to nearby neighborhoods. Reports began coming in of small fires outside of the complex, which caused flying embers, and crews canvassed the exposed neighborhoods and surrounding areas, putting out tree fires nearly a quarter of a mile downwind from that apartment fire. Dumpster fires also broke out, and preventing any other residences from becoming involved, firefighters worked overnight and into the morning. There fortunately were no reported civilian or firefighter injuries. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. The estimated dollar loss is between $25 and $30 million.
Well, if you are hoping one day to see a UFO, you might need to go elsewhere. According to new data, 17 states offer a better chance of spotting something otherworldly.
Given the history of Area 51, you might think Nevada would be a hotbed of UFO activity, but a recent analysis by satelliteinternet.com finds you actually have a better chance of seeing a UFO elsewhere. The analysis used data from the National UFO Reporting Center and the U.S. Census to find out which states have the most reported UFO sightings per capita. According to their calculations, Idaho has recorded the largest number of sightings per capita, with just over 9 per 100,000 people. The rest of the top 5 includes Montana, New Hampshire, Maine, and New Mexico, home to the famous Roswell incident. As for states with the lowest number of UFO sightings, Texas sees the fewest with just over 1 sighting per 100,000. You'd also be hard-pressed to spot a UFO in Louisiana, New York, Maryland, or Illinois. And what about Nevada? Well, here in the Silver State, we see about 4 UFO sightings per 100,000 people. That puts us 18th on the list, not far behind our neighbors in Utah and Arizona. While California ranks 45th in UFO sightings per capita, they actually rank first in total UFO sightings at 752, followed by Florida, Washington, Texas, and Pennsylvania. For more on the analysis of UFO sightings, visit satelliteinternet.com.
All right, thanks so much, Brad. And I heard you worked on that package in top secret style, Area 51 style.
Yeah, you did.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back. Well, a Pahrump venue is bringing a taste of the former Bonnie Springs Ranch right here to Nye County. Nature Health Farms offers guests a place to hang out, feed some farm animals, and learn a bit about history. Alex DeJohn says the public is invited to a sneak peek celebration.
Bonnie Springs Ranch in Red Rock Canyon was a popular place for families. It's gone now, but a man with fond memories of Bonnie Springs is bringing that same type of family-friendly experience to Pahrump. Alex DeJohn is preparing to open Nature Health Farms, located on Bonarch Road.
Well, we miss Bonnie Springs, so it's like a Bonnie Springs experience. To me, it was like a family place where you can go and hang out, watch some shows, and go in the museum and check out some old stuff, go to the petting zoo.
And Alex says Nature Health Farms will mimic that experience, featuring a petting zoo with all types of animals.
We're going to have goats, maybe sheep. We have the alpaca, bison, horses, chickens, geese, peacocks.
Nature Health Farms is holding a grand opening bash Saturday, January 30th, which in part will celebrate Alex's 41st birthday. Tickets for that event are $20 per person.
Well, we got World of Dance from NBC bringing down a celebrity host. We're going to have a hot air balloon that will be tethering. Included with the admission, you get a corn dog, hand-dipped fresh corn dog, or cotton candy. We have a petting zoo, antique store, and activities.
Due to COVID restrictions, admission is limited. You can learn more and purchase tickets through Nature Health Farms' Facebook page. A portion of proceeds will be donated back to the community. Looking past the grand opening event, Nature Health Farms will soon be open to the public.
After the grand opening, we're not sure what the date is, but eventually it'll be open to the public. And then we'll do hemp tours and farm tours, and then you can pick your own fruit. We'll have sunflower gardens, you can take pictures. It's going to be like a place where you can take pictures, a lot of selfies, Instagrams, and social media stuff.
Nature Health Farms will be open Sunday through Friday from 10 to 7. And again, for more information, you can visit Nature Health Farms on Facebook.
Yeah, I got to pet the alpacas, Mocha and Joshua. Well, parenting and the pandemic can be stressful. Many kids are learning from home, and you may be working from home too. So how do you cope with all these new changes while trying to keep the same rules you had before?
There is no rule book or handbook on quarantine parenting. Often parents look to their own parents for a style of what to do or what not to do, And no one has been through this experience, so they don't have that role model of how to parent during this time.
Dr. Susan Albers is a psychologist with Cleveland Clinic and has some tips to help relieve that stress. She says, for starters, pick your battles. Make a list of issues and rules that are most important. And speaking of rules, she says make sure you're being consistent. Otherwise, your children may think they can bend them when they want. Another tip: be a good role model. Kids are constantly observing, so if they see you neglecting your own responsibilities, they may try to do the same. Finally, don't be afraid to say no.
And we've all struggled a lot during the pandemic, so it's easy to want to say, oh, have that extra cookie or stay up an extra hour. But right now, it's really important to stay firm to your rules, your expectations, and not try and soothe them with bending the rules.
She knows it can be overwhelming, so don't be too hard on yourself. She says you may also want to talk with other parents to see what's working for them.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. You're looking at some live shots here of Lee Canyon. Yes, it's snowing up there. There's people tumbling down the hillsides right now. There's people in chairlifts going up the other way. Look at that. Oh, lots going on up there. In fact, they're going to be getting a little more snow this weekend. You know, we're predicting a bunch of wind Friday and Saturday, but up in Lee Canyon, look at this. They're predicting snow, Lee Canyon snow. It's going to be great ski weather. So check that out up at Lee Canyon. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out online, Lee Canyon Skiing, and we'll tell you all about the weather for down a little at the lower elevations when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. How are you this evening? Well, we had a little bluster yesterday. A little blow, what's going on? We get a bunch of that coming up this week, but I don't know. Let's look north. Let's look at Fernley and see what they're doing. 46 degrees for a high today, 19 for a low. Out in Fallon, you're up to 49 degrees and 16 for a low. Carson City, you're all the way over to 43 degrees and 19 for a low. Seems like everything came down about 10 degrees just suddenly and overnight. Tonopah, you're looking at 43 degrees and a weather twin at 19 degrees for a low with Carson City. Look at that. Out in Goldfield, 42 degrees, 45 rather, as hot as it's got today, 21 for a low. You're all the way up to 57 in Beatty. Good for you. 36 for a low. In Amargosa, 61. Hey, here we go. Feeling good. 43 degrees for a low tonight. In Las Vegas, 62 was all you got, and 48 was all it's going to take tonight to chill you out and keep those tumbler drinks cold. Death Valley, you're seeing 70 degrees for a high today. You win the warm weather mark. Ding, ding, ding. And 53 degrees is your low tonight. Here in the paradise of Pahrump, well, we're looking at 55 degrees as our current temperature, but it got all the way up to 60. That wasn't too bad. And the winds calmed down to about 8 miles per hour out of the west this morning. Humidity at 31%, giving us lots of clouds. And lots of cloud cover makes some beautiful sunrises at 6:52 a.m. Also a beautiful sunset at 4:57 p.m. just before news broadcast. Lingering lights in the sky still. You're not too late to catch all the color. Low tonight, 42 degrees, and those winds continuing about 8 miles per hour. With that humidity just staying right with us at 40%. It's snowing up in the hills. And what do we got coming up? Well, it looks like kind of a calmer day tomorrow, next day. And then Friday, Saturday, holy smokes. Look at that wind, 18 miles per hour. That's an average wind speed. So we're really going to get some bluster and blow up, maybe up to 30 miles per hour. On Friday, Saturday, it'll calm down just a little bit. Not half as much, but still kind of windy and interesting. Sunday, clear skies, beautiful. And then the winds return on Monday with not quite a full-on, rage wind, but, enough to go, all right, so like 14 mile per hour. It's going to be kind of blowy hit and miss here this next couple of days, so pay attention. We'll keep you informed. It's Unette and Deanna back at the desk. Thanks.
We'll see how that rain pans out.
Maybe.
Yeah. We have an event that's coming up there in Beatty if anybody's interested in finding out about basic life CPR classes. You can sign up for that. It's going to be happening at the Beatty Volunteer Ambulance Service. And of course, if you'd like to attend the class, you can give them a call, 702-375-8817. The cost of the class is $60, and it's brought to you by the American Heart Association.
Wonderful. I've always wanted to take a CPR class.
Good
Very
class.
good.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unat Gentry, and from all of us here at Ace Country and KPVM, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you again next newscast.
Good night.
Good night, and rest in peace, Bear. We miss you.